Ow. So like I mentioned, I'm making this town where I'm basically kind of like making my own. I mean, there's minimal customization that you can do. I wish you could like plot the whole town like you could in Sims 2. I don't remember if you could do that in Sims 3. Remember in Sims 2 you could just put down whatever size lot wherever you wanted it for the most part. That was really cool. I really liked planning towns back then. Here I don't like the constrictions, but I still have my own like town that I'm kind of working on where I take all the houses and stuff that were already there and I just like build my own. Firstly, I should mention that in my idea of the town, these are not separate places. These are all, it's kind of like different sections of the same city. The way that I'm setting it up, they're all kind of related, I guess. Everybody could travel in between them very easily. They're not different places. They're like how like in a city you have like the downtown like skyscrapery part, and then you also have the few parts outside of the city that are like residential areas or something. That's kind of how this is set up. So today, the first thing that I'm going to be going over, I want to go over all the different places that I've built for the town, but the one, no rhyme or reason, the one I happened to finish first was this school here. Now, at the ending part of the video, I'm gonna have a section where I made, like, what all the teachers look like, and I made Sims for all the well, not all the students, but the students that live in. There are students that, like, live off campus and come to the campus, but there are some that live on campus, so I made all the on-campus students, and I made all the teachers, and I'm gonna go over them afterwards, but right now I'm just gonna go after, like, the school itself. Now, I will say, I have the Magic expansion pack, but I haven't actually played it. I know there's a Magic school. I don't think it's here. I guess you have to travel to the Magic world to get to the Magic school. So I don't know what the Magic school is like. But this school is in competition with the Magic school. It's also a Magic school, even though I don't know anything about the Magic school or what it looks like. I don't know, maybe I should have gone there and like done some research before I made my own school that's competing with it. But this is the competitor school. And this school is actually owned by Morgan's evil twin brother. they're like, I don't think that Morgan owns the Magic school in game. Is there someone who owns it, or like did the three main people in the school just kind of collectively own it, or what? I don't really know what's going on, but this one is owned by Morgan's evil twin brother. It's also like kind of like secretly related to a cult that's in the town. I don't know. There's lots of other backstory, but I'm not going to get into that until the end of the video, because I don't want to have like a bunch of random backstory that that nobody cares about like be the first thing. So first I'm just going to go over what it actually looks like. I forgot I actually have to go in and change the way that all the lighting looks, because I didn't do that before, and like add colors to lighting and stuff, but like, look at this! What is this? Custom content gone wrong. Why do you look like that, sir? Okay, now that I went in and I changed all the lighting so everything looks yellowy and mysterious. This is the school. It's kind of bizarre looking because it's a... I wish there was a bigger lot to build it on. I was gonna take this lot and build it here, but I can't remember why I didn't. So it's all kind of squished together. It's a very square building. I know it would go together better if it was just the black windows, but I really wanted to use these like moon shaped looking windows and stuff throughout it, because it is like a Magic school. Also, this is custom content from The Sims Medieval or something, but I decided that this is the like logo for the school, I guess. So you'll see these little things hung up everywhere because that's like their school, I don't know, their school symbol. It's also the symbol of the secret cult that's run by the person who runs the school. But anyway, the students don't really know that. I think I'll start on the first floor where you come in. Now I love to over decorate with plants. I kind of want it to blend into the rest of the surroundings, so I didn't want to add too many plants. See, I used some of the trees that show up in other places. It doesn't stand out too much. Even though I hate this just barren ground with, I want to put like grass and bushes and stuff all over here, but I wanted it to, because it's supposed to be a town, I'm supposed to be building my own town, it's supposed to match the stuff in the world around it, so. Oh yeah, and look, this is little, you can barely see it, this is shops. Little off-campus cafes and stuff that the students can walk to from here, but I'm not done with those. Kind of cool, it overlooks like a river or whatever this is, so you could like daydream in class looking out the window. There's that you can walk to, you can walk here, you can walk to the park like on the lunch breaks or something. You have this little pathway right here. It's a good placement, even though I do wish it was a bigger lot. It's a very small school. They don't have a... There's like, I think, 5 different classes. You know. Anyway, I'll start on the first floor. Here you have the walkway where you come up. There's like this little place outside here to sit. There's like this, I don't know, advertisement. Also, I should mention, I've never been to a college campus and I don't know what schools are supposed to look like, so this is probably not accurate, but there's like a flag or something, I don't know what that's for. It just looked like something that would be outside, and this little light that shines on here to be like, hey, look at the advertisement. A few little garden-y patches in front. See, I would have the whole yard look like this if it was up to me, but it wouldn't blend in with the rest of the surroundings. And then places you can sit, more of these things, and then the little fancy stained glass door thing. And then from there you come into this, I guess this is like the front desk, the person who will check you in and stuff. And you see they have their computer and things to make calculations and mail and coins and this little, I guess, flyer thing, and like a coffee, because they're working at their computer and need to have a coffee and stuff, and their little bag. And then a bookcase behind them, and then this is like a little newspaper stand. Also, I should mention, lots of custom content in this build, obviously. Most of this stuff is not from the, from the game. Oh my god, if this was a no custom content build, it would look boring and like crap, so I'm sorry. Come in here, this is like the main hall, it leads to other things. Right next to the door, there's a place to hang coats, there's 2 places to sit. I tried to keep some of these common areas very plain, like not lots of pictures on the walls, not, you know, flower vases, but not a ton of clutter, because I guess, I mean, in a professional school setting or whatever, they're not going to have clutter adorning every single area. They might try and keep the main halls looking neat, so to me it looks kind of boring and barren, but like, I think it's supposed to be that way. And they have like a little tree, and this is where the kitchen is, so they have this sign or something about the kitchen, and this is like the dining room, and they have these signs on every door, I guess, which is kind of like room 105 cafeteria or something, so that's like that sort of thing. And you have these little seating areas also in the front leading to the stairs, and then so this is just the main hallway, nothing really fancy, just the front desk and a few seating areas. And then back here, these are like public bathrooms. They're identical, they're just both 2 little very simple bathrooms. I love this floor. It's a custom content floor. And of course, there's curtains, and also there's all this stuff grown up so people can't see, and not that there'd be anybody, like someone floating on the river, I don't know, a vampire in a raft. Nobody's gonna be able to see in the windows, but just in case. And these little mirrors with flowers on them or whatever, I guess. From there, I guess I'll go into the kitchen first. This is like the communal kitchen, so the staff who will cook in here, but also students can cook in here whenever they want. They're free to like come in and use the materials, use their shelves. There's this, do you know, this shelf doesn't actually have this many slots on it. I had to like personally take every single item and like raise it up. Like do this for every single item on this shelf almost. Here's a little kitchen shelf, some pans you can use. These are like tables that people can cook at, and these are cooking stations. You can see I left some stuff out, so it looks like there's one person kind of in here cooking something. The cooking station is being used, and then this is like there's like identical utensils. Each person who wants to cook can take a little thing of utensils, and someone was washing dishes apparently, because some more ingredients and stuff in the back. There's these herbs and stuff, and this is kind of like this says like the menu for what's going to be being served in the dining room, and you can order stuff ahead of time, and you can also get stuff out of these vending machines, students can, and this is kind of like a morning snack, or kind of like a snack area. There's a tea maker and a coffee maker, and you can kind of get some coffee, grab a piece of bread or a piece of fruit or something, and snack on it really quick before you go to class. That's the kitchen. Right over this half wall and through these doors, this is the dining area, which again is very simple. I put a few, I can't resist putting clutter to make stuff look lived in. So someone was having a bread roll and some tea right here. And then also someone here was having a coffee and a fig, and you see their backpack is placed down right there. And then someone at the end of this table is having some soup, and someone right here was just sitting with a goblet or whatever. I don't know why they'd be drinking a goblet of wine. Maybe it's not wine, it's cranberry juice. A goblet of cranberry juice before their English classes. There's not English classes here, you know what I mean. This is the whole dining area. It's pretty much just a dining area. There's not really much to go into. There is this little section, which is where, again, where they keep out, like, when they serve food, here's where they put it. I guess the breakfast or something is kind of out right now. People can get some tea. People can grab some apples and some stuff out of a pitcher. Then back here, there's, like, plates and stuff for people to set the tables. And then there's some towels and, I guess, like, a cleanup cabinet for if someone spills something. Then you go across here through the hall. And I guess first... here's the school library area. It's very small because, again, it's a small school. The people can come here if they want to study. That's just a nice quiet place to sit. Someone was having a coffee and sitting at this table and working on, I guess, their homework or whatever. And there's the little bench you can sit on against the wall. There's these 2 chairs. Lots of curtains, lots of decoration. It looks like a very calming kind of place. Now, I did keep the floors, like, the walls can be different, but the floors and some of the lighting fixtures and stuff I tried to keep consistent, because I mean, like in a real school, you can't change every single thing about the classroom or whatever when you move into it. You can do some decorating and you can change a few things around, but so I kept the even though I think like a black floor or something would look better in here, I tried to keep the same certain architectural elements consistent throughout, regardless of the design of the rest of the room, because I thought that made it more realistic, because it is like a public school building, it's not someone's house. And then in here is like the recreation kind of place where it's like just a lounge, a hangout place where students can just go to relax. So you have this little... So in through the first door, you have like a seating area, someone has their phone, someone has a cup of coffee. It's just a little place to hang out. There's a bookshelf back here and a fish bowl and a few pillows sitting next to the TV. There's this little TV station. You have the remote and the small TV and a bookshelf and another little thing someone could sit on, and then another place to lounge. And then here's the fireplace with some lights around it. It's supposed to look very cozy because it's where people come to take a relax off of their... where people come to take a relax. It's where people come to take a break and relax a little bit in between class. And like some students live here, so there are rooms upstairs. And I think it's a small school, so the capacity of students who can live on campus, I think there's like 14 beds. So some people do live here full time though. So the students who live off campus can come here and hang out, but it's mostly kind of like a living room for the people who do live here, because they'll need kind of a communal area for themselves because they're literally living here. And you don't want to be trapped in your little squished rooms all the time. You need a place to come hang out. So this is mostly... all students are allowed to come here, but it's mostly for the students who live here to use in their spare time when they're not in classes. Anyway, here's like a fireplace with the cozy lights and stuff, and this little... I don't know, seating area, another seating area, lots of seating areas. That's what relaxing is all about. I was reading the newspaper, people were having some drinks and stuff, and then here's kind of like a little, it's not really private, I mean, there are little curtains up to kind of close it off, but it's like a study area, but in the community. So like, if you want a really quiet place to study, go here. If you want to kind of just do something like browse the internet while you're around friends or something like that, and you'd probably go to this different study area. There's another bookshelf here on the other side, and some plants and these little hanging plant things. More lights hung up to make it look even more cozy. 2 little desks. You can see someone's working here. They brought their laptop down and a backpack. And then here is kind of like a place where I guess people can play chess, and another bookshelf. It is a school after all. More lights hung up and little decorations and plants to make it look homey and stuff. So that's the living room. Here, which you get to through this door, is the, I guess, kind of like a recreation room. There's lots of different tasks you can do. Again, none of this is related to schoolwork. They don't really have art classes here, but they do have this little place. This is like a... I don't know, this is some custom content that I downloaded. It's supposed to be like weaving a tapestry or something, and so this is kind of like the sewing area, I guess. Even though I don't even have like a sewing machine or anything, I was like, I don't know, I'm just throwing stuff together. But here's, you know, there's like fabrics everywhere. There's a little model to put clothes on, and a little head you could put hats on, and these are wands sized down, but I pretend that they're needles. So these are like sewing needles or something. And there's knitting stuff and things like that. Some scissors hanging on the wall. And some fancy tapestries and another bookshelf because it is a school. And this is like the painting section. People have some drawings put up, different paintings. And I guess these cabinets probably hold like art supplies and stuff, like maybe clay and different colors of paints. Which I should, okay, yeah, I'm gonna change this color to brown because I don't know why I left it that weird blue color. It's kind of weird. I guess I just forgot to change the color of it. I always put stuff on top of these. That's one of my favorite things to do with moving stuff up and down. And then there's just a little place you can sit here. I don't know what the color scheme in this room is. It's kind of like a weird greeny, goldy, and dark brown and purple, like a dark purple kind of thing. I'm not sure. I was kind of matching it around this rug. It looks a little bit weird, but you know. There's more cabinets in the back to hold art supplies. And then here you have like the music station. They have an organ and a piano for people to practice on, and more art drawing on these shelves. And then I guess inside of these shelves there's probably more instruments too, like little flutes and stuff. And this is the recreation room. That's the whole lower floor. Entrance area, seating, bathrooms, the main opening, the kitchen, dining room, recreation / arts room, a place to just hang out, like living room sort of, and then the library. Now before going upstairs, which is where the classes and the dorms are, I'm actually going to go downstairs. So if you go through this room and you go into here, there's this I almost said stairways, like stairwell and staircase. There's a staircase. there's a stairways. There's a little staircase here with just a lamp, I guess. Not very decorated because it's a tiny staircase. And some plants here because it was just kind of like dead space, nothing to do with it. And here is the underground portion of the school. Because it's a small school, they had to go underground to get more room. So there's this water feature outside. I guess kind of like a pond or something, and they have windows built to it because that provides light to the downstairs portion. So here right off the stairway, it's kind of just like a seating area. You have this little tiny nook where you can read books, as you see this person is probably doing. They have their cup and their books, and it's just a little corner seat, and they can look out into the sunlight water section, and then there's a bookshelf, some flowers, and another little seating area. There you can go through. And you go into the gardening area, which again gets its sunlight from the windows to the outside. And there's also this like underground actual garden, I guess. This is where they grow materials for potions and some magic involved. Some of it grows naturally, some of it is helped by magic because everybody at the school is mages. Didn't have room for an outdoor garden, so they made a little indoor garden downstairs. Plants everywhere. There's these vents everywhere because I thought, you know, it's like a bunch of plants growing. They need to prevent too much moisture from building up. It's underground. You don't want all the plants to get root rot, so it's a well-ventilated area, I guess. You can see these little gardening gloves here because someone was just working on gardening. Different plants and boxes and hanging plants. And this is like somewhere where someone was just harvesting stuff, so they have all these little roots and vegetables pulled out, and watering cans and notes, and a little bucket of mushrooms. And then here there's more stuff growing, and then there's a little shelf right here. A bunch of like soil and various gardening materials all kind of lined up in the corner. It's like glowing, or this has to do with the fact that it's like part of the plants are growing magically, so I guess that's why there's these little glowing orbs kind of hanging around. That's like part of the garden magic or something. And there's a mirror on this wall to kind of make it look a little bit bigger, so it seems like it expands farther than it actually does. And a bench, so students can kind of sit here. And all the flowers growing up the walls, and of course like a fountain in the back, so it looks nice. This is the downstairs gardening kind of botanical potion ingredient sort of area. Then off of there you have the gym, which is available to all students, but again, it's kind of an amenity that's mostly for students who are actually living here full-time, and it's not very decorated because it's just a gym. A TV and some plants and a little thing, and I guess this is like an activity board or something. A few machines, a wall tapestry, so it's not just plain tile. And then off the gym, you have the swimming pool, which is just a little swimming pool with some pool rules and stuff hung up and a little decoration. And again, it's pretty plain, just some lockers and a little place to sit because I don't know. I was trying not to clutter everything. They're public amenities. They're not going to have clutter everywhere, as much as I always want to add clutter everywhere. So that's the whole downstairs section. Not much. It's pretty small because the whole school is small. I was thinking of extending it like all the way and adding like underground dorms and stuff, but then I was like, no. Limit yourself. Don't go too overboard. From here you go up the stairs. Again, the hallways are pretty plain because, you know, I guess there's not going to be like a ton of... I thought of like putting seats or something here, but I'm like, they already have 4,000 seating areas. They can loiter in every single place. Might as well leave the hallway a little bit empty. This is the floor that all the classrooms are on, so this is marking the classrooms, and this is the door that you use to get up to the dorms. Nobody is allowed here except for the people who live here. So there are 3 teachers that live on campus out of the 5 teachers, and there are like 14 students that live on campus out of probably, I don't know, 30 to 50 students maybe that come and go and attend the school at different times. I guess there's like a lock, maybe you have to have like a key to get in. There's something saying like, you're not allowed up here if you're not... This is where the actual dorms are, blah blah blah. And here is kind of like a, I guess just like a general board, like this is where class changes would be posted, or school events would be posted, and or like special assignments that maybe people would have missed. The students can come and check this to see what's going on in the school. As for classrooms, I can start with this one, why not? So this class is basically kind of like a study of the natural world sort of class. It's all about like herbs and plants, but also anatomy and bones and skeletons and anything biological. This is like kind of a class that supplements the potions class. So you're gonna be using lots of ingredients when you make potions, or when you do any magic-y things, and you kind of want to know what those ingredients are and have a good understanding of like how magic affects the body, how anatomy works, how animals work, how blah blah blah. So it's just like a very generalized anatomy, herbs, plants, and flowers, birds, you know, let's just learn about everything. Of course they have like flowers and plants and stuff up on the wall, and then like herbs here, and then this little thing with... It's kind of like a medical-y class almost too, a little bit. There's like cotton swabs and stuff like that, and they'll teach you how to dissect animals and different things like that. So all over the walls there's like anatomical things and like bugs and different diagrams of plants, and there's specimens and stuff. A filing cabinet sort of thing, and I guess this would have like specimens in it too. You could like pull it out and be like, now here's a cross section of a frog leg or something like that. See, there's some people out here working on potion mixtures, and one person has a little book open on their desk that has some herbs and stuff drawn on it. Scale to measure things, and some water, and another scale, and another scale to measure like, I don't know, something in potions or something, and some butterflies, and can see they're working on making some sort of potion mixture demonstration for the class, grinding up ingredients. And then this is the teacher's desk where they have some tissues and books. And over here, which is a very small classroom, and it's small and cramped because they're outside most of the time. They'll go like out here or something, you know, kind of on these walkways to do a lot of the stuff that they do. Because this is the science of spell crafting and flight and stuff, so they teach them how to use wands and how to fly on the broomsticks and things like that. Even though typically with my own world building and like my own fantasy world that I've created, I really don't have the whole wands and broomsticks sort of thing, but I'm trying to run with whatever is in The Sims, so I guess the witches here are like that, so that's how it'll be. It's kind of a science class, so I have this like sciencey thing here because some of it is like the actual inner workings of magic and how magic works, but then a lot of the stuff they do is out in the field, like outside, teaching people how to fly and, you know, teaching how to cast spells at a different distance with the wands. So it's like I put a little like hand model here because maybe the teacher uses it to help show how people are supposed to hold their wands. And here's a place the teacher sits to relax, to talk to the class, I guess, kind of like lounging so they're not always cramped behind here. And tapestry and some loner brooms that the students can use. This is the teacher's broom. And then like this is the teacher's wand. but then all the other ones are very basic kind of ones any student can use. There's a few bookshelves and things like that, because again, they do study. I mean, it is science, even though a lot of it is they're outside doing stuff. There is some book studying involved. Little wands scattered everywhere, I guess, because picture this scene as like maybe everyone has just gotten back from outside and the teacher is giving a lecture about what they did today, and so everybody kind of just threw their wands back on the table or something. And then back here, this strangely purple glowing classroom is basically like celestial studies or something. I don't know. I guess in this world maybe the cycles of the moon or the arrangement of the planets or something has something to do with magic and how it works, and so they have like a class where that's like what they study. I got every single moon themed custom content item I could possibly find, except for this one comes with a game, but everything else I was like, I don't know, I don't have a lot of stuff with celestial imagery on it. Miniature galaxy projector display on their desk, and the little chalkboard to draw stuff if they need to, and a globe, and lots of orbs. I don't know what these orbs are. I was thinking maybe the orbs, like you can look into the orb and see different parts of the universe, or they could be representing planets. So maybe the teacher makes planet displays, and this is a big planet and a small planet, and this is this star, and this is this star, or whatever. But the glowing orbs, it's just the aesthetic. There's like telescopes. It's a very dark classroom because a lot of the time they're putting on galaxy displays or like coming into the classroom at night and looking out the window or something, so they don't want the light pollution or whatever to get in the way of it. The textbooks, they don't have much storage in the classroom. They just have these little shelves with the textbooks on them that students can grab, and lots of moon imagery and stuff, little devices to measure, I don't know, planet rotations or something. And then this classroom over here, which is the biggest classroom because these things take up so much freaking space. This is like the cauldron class, I guess, maybe potion making or something if you brew it in a little cauldron. Again, in my own world building, mages don't really have to use cauldrons, but I get, you know, go with what the game says. And here's the teacher's little cauldron, and they have a wheelie chair, so you wheel around the room to different people's stations and tell them what they're doing wrong instead of actually having to get up and walk. This is like some potion brewing stuff and bottles, and this whole thing, I guess, all of these cabinets are lined with like various ingredients and beakers and containers and bottles and stuff that you might need to use. And same here, there's stuff like this. The teacher keeps a giant crystal on the floor, and here's some scales that people can use. And every person's station has a stool and their cauldron and then a side table for them to put like ingredients and stuff on while they're using it. And then these are more cabinets and more bottles and storage and even more bottles and storage. So that's the potion making-y cauldron brew, I don't know what you would call it, that type of class. This classroom, which is the last classroom, is again a pretty small classroom, like a lot of them are. All these little desks put together. The only ones that actually look like desks. All the other desks are like random tables and stuff. But this is a history and geography class, which is not actually an inherently magical topic. Like all the other ones are things that have to do with magic directly, but this one is more here just because mages have to travel a lot for whatever reason, I don't know. Something magic, woohoo, you know, you're gonna go cast spells all over the world, I don't know. Lots of mages travel, apparently, according to the lore that I just made up for no reason. Because mages travel a lot, and because also on your travels you're likely to run into people who are not mages in different political situations and stuff like that, and everybody will have a different view towards people who can do magic and stuff, so it's kind of like a class just teaching you about the world and geography in the world and certain cultures and places where mages should avoid going and places where it's safe to travel through, and just general information that you would need to know if you were traveling. This teacher is very cozy and they want to relax all the time, so they don't have a chair here because they feel like if they're teaching they should be standing up and that sitting down is not giving the class full attention, but then they also have this like lounge chair right here that they sit in half the time. So it's a mix of like cold clinical classroom, but also like lots of plants and lots of decorations and little warm lighting and stuff and string lights. But they're a very like chill teacher, so they have like apples for the students to eat. They're like drinking wine the whole time they're teaching, and half the time they'll come sit down here and have some soup and some coffee and just like read a book while the students are doing work. They're very very luxury. There's like some textbooks in the corner and stuff, and of course lots of like maps on the wall, and I don't know, I just try to look at any travel related custom content I could find. Lots of books and stuff over here. Their like teacher bag with their materials and stuff. Pretty small classroom, but cozy. It's supposed to kind of look like a living room slash classroom because they have and students can relax here too, even though mostly it's the teacher that'll sit down and have a cup of soup in the middle of class, you know. The students, if they're having a bad day, they can lay down on the couch instead of doing classwork. They're very slow-paced, very kind of relaxed, laid-back teacher. They just want everybody to be comfortable and have fun while learning geography. That's all the classrooms, like geography, history, culture sort of class, whatever the hell, cauldron class, potion making, I still don't know what to call that. Science and study of like how magic works and how to use wands and how to fly on brooms and stuff class. The natural world sort of materials and anatomy and biology class, and then like the celestial studies class that's about like moon and planets and stars. And you go up a floor. Ooh, I went down a floor. You go up a floor. And this is the place that's just for teachers and students who live on campus. Here's the main hallway. There's these few kind of these loungy areas in the back where people can just sit and work on things and be off on their own in the corner and do homework or whatever. There's loungy areas here and loungy areas here. Really, I just didn't know what to do with the space. Here in the middle is kind of like a study hall, kind of quiet computer room, because a lot of actually no students actually have computers in their dorm rooms because their dorm rooms are very small. So if they need a place to study or to be on the computer, do things like that, they can go in this little private kind of computer lab study area sort of thing. And this is also where the fancy roofing, the skylight sort of thing shines down on, so that can be kind of pretty to come in here at night. And you get a good view out the windows. You can see the park and everything. It's a really nice room. It doesn't look that nice because the decorations for it are weird. I thought like the school decorates this, so it would be like, oh, official looking maps and school things, but you know, the aesthetic in here I think would be like a nice comfortable place to sit at this table. And there's like the sunroof and the all this stuff, you know. That's that. And then here is an area, this is where people get their mail. So the students and the teachers who live here and different stuff on school, this is where the postman will like leave that. So like if you're getting a letter from your family at home, since you're at a boarding school, you know, it'll be in your little box over here. And this is another seating area. This whole place is just full of seating areas. I wonder why the classrooms are so small. They're not using their space effectively. Here's a little, another seating area where you can sit and hang out or read books or do your homework or whatever. And this is a little deck that overlooks the, oh my gosh, the camera's overlooks the river and everything like that. And you have just two chairs. It's very short. Kind of a nice place to sit. And it's nice to sit here because the doors are open half the time. So you can kind of just look out over like the, oh wow, look at the view. Wow, how pretty. I love being out on this deck and falling 40 feet to my death because the camera is not very good. So from there, I guess I'll go into, well, this is the showers. So there's like this little waiting area right here up front with a laundry basket and lockers and a little mirror and stuff and a place for you to sit and some towels. And then each of these little showers is in its own kind of like cubby or whatever. I couldn't really think of a good way to do this because I couldn't make a bunch of different bathrooms or whatever, so I don't know. Like a bigger shower for if someone has trouble squeezing into one of these tiny little showers or comfortable in like a large space. So that's what this is, like a whole room wide shower, I guess, with places to like sit in the corner and stools and stuff and soap things. So that's the communal showers, and this is the communal bathrooms. There's not many of them, but there's not many students that live on campus. There's like 14 of them, I think. Maybe there's 16 beds. There's not many beds. It's a very small school. I thought even only 4 is okay. So you have 4 little toilets with the stalls and the mirror and 4 little sinks. It's very plain. It's a bathroom. There's not gonna be much decoration, especially because it's a communal bathroom. Like in people's own houses, they could decorate because they're gonna be the only ones going in there. But in like a random public school, there's not gonna be like let me hang up my posters, you know. And from there, I guess I'll do, this is 3 teachers who live on campus. There are also 2 butler type people who like make food and clean the place and stuff that live on campus, but they don't have their own room. They sleep in the garden. They're twins and they're kind of like peculiar. I'll get into that later once I actually go over all the people. The reason there's not a bed for them is because they go all the way, they go all the way down here, and because they feel like it helps them take in magical energy if they sleep in a place with a high concentration of magical energy, which is here. Because there's lots of magic being used to help grow the plants and stuff, so usually they kind of curl up just around here, and they say that the lull of the fountain or whatever helps them sleep. Just like come in here and sleep in the bushes every night. Sometimes they bring pillows or blankets, but most of the time they just I don't know, they're kind of like a weird presence around the school. I mean, they're nice people and everybody likes them, but they're one of those, like, types of people where you're just kind of like, oh, okay. Like, you know, you, like, walk into the kitchen at 3 in the morning and you see them, like, eating a piece of charcoal hole, and you're just like, okay, well, I'm gonna go. Anyway, the weird butler twins sleep in the garden. That's why there's not a room for them, but there are 3 staff that stay on campus besides them, the teachers. So this is one of the rooms. It's a very brown, again, I didn't want to change the wall colors and the floor for every single individual person because I thought, I mean, it's like a school. I think maybe at some point this was originally like a dorm room or something, and they modified it because they thought it would be better if some of the teachers lived on campus, so they put up these like temporary walls that matched the other walls and what the room already looked like or something, so that's why it's kind of a weird layout. People's doors are just like curtains or whatever. Anyway, so this is one of the teachers' rooms. They have the little corner cabinet and some books, and they're decorating the room as best as they can with the limited wall space and ability to change the floor and stuff that they have. And a little cactus and a little lantern and a nice bed and a place for a wand and a brush and a succulent cat. This is the second room for teachers. Another one of these little corner, I wish these came in different colors. It's like this, or this. I wish they had white because that would match this room better, but it's a really cool piece of custom content. I love things that go in corners. It's like, ooh, a corner thing. So I use them anyway, but here's a little corner closet and a little vanity or whatever for them, and a picture and a bookshelf and more books and tissues and a little thing hanging on the wall. A decorative lamp and a picture of flowers, and this is the other teacher's room. They have a bigger room because they were the first to move in here, so they got to kind of do whatever they want. This is the guy who looks like a pirate. You won't know what that means until I actually show all the different teachers at the end, but this is the guy with the beard that looks like a pirate. This is his room. Another corner shelf and a little place, a little seat to look out the window at, oh, I guess you get a view of a cemetery, huh? What is that? Through here, this is the teacher's little communal bathroom that all 3 of them share. So it's a little bit more decorated because it's only 3 people sharing it, not like the whole school, so, but it's still very, I don't know, clean looking, not much decoration. It's just a generic little bathroom with the same kind of bathroom decorations that every other room here has. I guess I'll just go over the dorms. They're very simple because they're just like dorm rooms. So here's 4 beds in 1 room. Most of them have some of the same furniture in them, but they're arranged differently. Each student gets their own little dresser, and then the space on top of and above the dresser, they can decorate the walls. But like you see, like these people choose to put nothing on the walls. This person hung up this little thing, and then like right next to their bed, they can hang stuff on the walls and put stuff beside their bed if they want to. There are limited decorations because they can't decorate the whole room. They can only decorate like their spaces. This person has hung up a picture of horses, and they have a little wash basin thing and a flower and their backpack, and this is this person's shelf and like little corner, so they have all these books and scroll. I guess they're like a studious student. I didn't actually decide which student lives in every bed. I made the students and I made the rooms, but I didn't make them at the same time. So I don't actually know who sleeps in any of these. I wasn't thinking like, oh, this student has this bed. I was just kind of like making them separately, but I guess whoever stays here kind of has a little cluttered space, and they like flowers and naturey looking stuff. And then this is a pretty plain bed. One of them's drinking a coffee. And then they have a little lamp and their backpack, which matches the lamp, and a plant. And this person is using their bed area mostly for clothing storage. They have this. I might want to change the color of that. Ugh. There's no good colors for these, honestly. And this dorm room does have like one desk people can work at, but usually people would like go into the library or go to the computer room or something to do any work that they have to do. They wouldn't usually work in their own room because they're very small rooms. Rooms are different sizes, but the size isn't dependent on anything. It's not like, oh, the good students get the big rooms. It's just like you're just kind of randomly assigned what room to stay in. Like this is a much bigger room with more space. It's just because the school is laid out weird. Thinking something like it used to not be a school that people lived in. It used to just be a place you would go to go do classes, and due to some sort of recent changes or budget cuts or something, they converted what used to be classroom. They cut down on the class size, so instead of like 10 classes, maybe now there's only 5. They cut on non-essential classes. And then additionally, they turned the classrooms into like bathrooms and into dorm rooms. So that's why they're all kind of weird, different sizes and stuff is organized weirdly. The real reason? I'm bad at planning spaces, knowing where things should go. The fictional reason is, it's just a little bit weird. They built the school not in order. It's a weird area. And put lights and stuff above their little section, and this person has clothes underneath theirs. And some keys on the wall, and this person put up some birds and pretty candles, and this person put up black and white photos. Someone hung some blankets in the corner as a wall decoration, some tapestries. And here's a little place for them to sit and eat fruit, and here's the desk. See, they have a bigger desk because they have a bigger room, so people can work here if they want to. And then this is this one person where apparently they have 2 calendars. This also looks like a calendar, but you know, they're double calendaring it up. Room, I guess these people all like plants. Maybe all the students who live here collectively decided, like, let's decorate the space with plants. This person has their little suitcase here. Maybe they just moved into the school not too long ago, and a mirror and some books. And across here, here's another dorm. This person apparently does knitting, and here's a little umbrella right next to the door. They hung up a pasture looking thing. This one has a doll on their bed. I was gonna put a teddy bear in one of these chairs, but I forgot and I don't want to do it now, but there's some clothing and a bookshelf and someone's backpack, and they have more stuff hung up on the walls than other people do, and their old camera, and here's a little desk for them. You can see someone's working there, and this person apparently really likes plants because they covered their little space that they can decorate with a bunch of plants. Makeup, books, some posters, a suitcase. Maybe this person just moved in and they're just now getting settled. It's what, 4, 4, 4, that's what, 12? I don't know, I was bad at math in school. And then this is so there's 16 rooms. I think I only made 14 students, or wait. No, I made 16 students because you can make 8. You can make 8 person for family. 8 person per sim family. So actually I do have 16 students. I don't know which of these beds goes to which student because again I made them separately, but then this is the last dorm room. There's a suitcase here, and this person has put up a lot of posters in their designated wall space. And this is just like flowers and decorations and stuff, and someone put up some butterflies, and here's a little seating area with a lamp and some books and a desk for people to work at. This person hung up some black and white photos, and they have their boots and plants and a backpack, and here's some person's backpack, and this person was eating in their bed, and someone hung up flags on the wall and their little teddy bear, and they brought their own lamp from home, I guess, and there's a little place you can sit and look out the window. So that's all of the dorms, all of the 16 people, and the bathrooms, and the showers. Oh, but then there's this section, which is, this is like the teachers' room. Teachers who live off campus can use this area too, but it's used a lot by the ones who do live on campus. They have like a little break room, I guess, type of place. You can get like a tea, you can get some coffee, can pick up a potion. They have a little mini fridge, which is custom content. I don't have the dormitory expansion pack, whatever it's called. College? University? This is just a pretty plain, it's just like seating. They're reading the newspaper. They have like bulletins and stuff up here to keep track of for themselves if they want to, and a little place that they can eat in the privacy away from the students, and a little lounge chair where they can have soup in privacy away from the students, and a little bookshelf. So it's kind of the lounge room. And then this separate room is like a day nap room for if the teachers get tired of dealing with the students or something, they can come take a little 10-minute break here and they can lay down. There's just a little day bed and some paintings and more books they can read, newspapers, they can eat some fruit, they can have some tea, they can look out the window at the view, which is oh, mountains and a little trail. Now that's actually not bad. So this is the whole third floor, which is mostly dorms and access for people who live in the school. So dorm 1, showers, teacher room, teacher nap room, stairway, which I'll get to in a minute. Dorm number 2, a little computer room, a lounge room, more lounge spots out in the hallway, place where people can pick up their mail, the place that all the teachers live and the teacher's bathroom. Dorm number 3, communal toilets, and then dorm number 4. And now up here, this is partially used as a storage closet, but you actually go up here, this is where the principal lives. And again, so the principal, and I'll get into it in a minute, the person who owns the school, the headmaster of the school, is Morgan Imber, character from the games, evil twin brother, who started a magic school to rival his sibling working at a magic school. They're twins and they've always been competitive. So this is his place, but his brother, again, is an evil twin, so he's more freak, and he lives in a scary little attic. If you need to see the headmaster, you have to climb up these creepy stairs in a storage closet, and then go all the way up here, and then go through, this is the waiting room, so you have to go through these doors. It's a really weird layout. You have to go through these doors, and then come back through here, and then in here. Then this is the waiting room, and it's very barren. It's just a bunch of chairs shoved against dirty walls with a skull in the middle of nowhere, and one thing of candles to keep the place lit, and barrels. And then once you actually are needed, you'll get called back and into this, which is a large empty room with a foreboding desk in the middle and these little chairs opposite here while the headmaster sits here and like looks stern from his mystery desk and the giant back chair. But you'll see this is mostly an empty room. It used to be used for storage space. Some of it still is. This is where Morgan's twin brother sleeps. This tiny little bed in like a curtain behind some room dividers, which is also next to a bunch of random planks of wood and miscellaneous crates and barrels and school storage and a giant stone. There's barely any lighting in the room. He walks around in the dark like a freaky bat. He's also a vampire. Morgan is not a vampire. His brother is a vampire. He's a vampire mage, which makes you more powerful, apparently. And I don't think you can actually, can you be a vampire and a mage in the game? I don't know. This is just stuff I made up. I don't know if this actually works in game. But if you feed on the blood of living people and you're also a mage, the blood will end up like making your magic a little bit more powerful. And that's part of what has to do with the cult that he runs, but I'll get into that later. But that's somewhat of the premise behind the cult activities he does as well. I guess because he's a vampire, he likes to, I don't know. He still sleeps in a bed. He doesn't sleep in a coffin, but he just sleeps in a creepy tiny bed in the middle of nowhere and roams around in the dark because he can see in the dark. So just because dimly lit stuff intimidates people and he's like, I'm gonna scare all the students. Like everybody runs from him. If you saw him in the hallway at night, the students would be like, bye, I gotta go. Not even because he looks scary. He's just like one of those obnoxious people everyone wants to avoid, and he smells bad because he sleeps right next to crates. But anyway, there's like all these files. So this is probably like school files, I guess, kind of like filing cabinets, like records on all the students, and a bunch of bookshelves and more bookshelves, and the school symbols, and this little fireplace with lots of candles and a wardrobe and more books. On his desk he really just has some books, a few potion bottles and scrolls and stuff. Pretty typical, nothing very strange. And then here is like a private study for him, which is just an oddly blank room with not much in it. Just a little desk and a giant wardrobe and a singular chair in the middle of nowhere and a fireplace. So that's the upstairs of the school. I don't really know what to call it. I mean, I guess it's the principal's office, the headmaster's office, but it's also where the headmaster sleeps in a bizarre dark little corner, and wants to keep the space very open so that it seems foreboding and intimidating to students that have to counsel with him. But like, you could have like 2 other classrooms up here. Like, there's so much room that's not being used. But everybody just stays away from the attic. We just pretend the attic doesn't exist unless you get called up to the headmaster's office, but people ignore that. That's the roof, so actually that's kind of the whole school. The headmaster area, the waiting room, the weird little private office, and then you have all the dorms and stuff that I've already gone over, and then the floor with all the classrooms on it, and the other things, and then the floor with the communal areas and library and the eating place and the kitchen that students can use, and then down here is the little underground gardening area and the kind of gym functions and stuff. This would be such a cool little place to read. Especially, like, I would imagine I mean, it's like a pond, so I feel like there's fishes in here. I mean, I couldn't actually make that happen with the materials that I have, but there could be like, it could be like a big fish tank or something too, so like you're tending to the plants and you see little fish swim by, and that's also something that you could watch here from this little reading nook. You could watch all the fish. This classroom at night looks funky. This is what it's supposed to look like though, because they're in here at night sometimes looking at the stars. This room at night is very warm, except for look at this. These are the same table, not different colors. It's just the lighting does this. These are the same they're the same exact color of tables. It's creepy and dark in here at night. Anyway, so that's the whole school. If all you wanted to do was see what the school looks like and the building itself, then that's it. But otherwise, now I'm going to cut to the portion of the video where I go over all the students that I made and all the people that live in the school, which will probably take a while. But before I do that, look, this is what I was talking about. It's like a planet. I didn't know this also has a glowing thing around it. That's interesting. This is custom content. So this is what I mean when I describe that there's like a galaxy or something coming off that thing. This is what it's like. So sometimes imagine this even bigger, like it covers up like the whole roof or something, and that's what they do at night. They look at that stuff. Now, anyway, I know none of this matters because The Sims is not a complex enough game to actually register any of the backstory that I have, but I don't know. I just felt like it. This is Morgan's evil twin brother, Morgul. I did bring Morgan into here and I basically made a twin of him and then just gave him like different hair color and eye color and stuff, so they should look almost the same. I think he looks a little bit different. Obviously he has big pointy ears, but I think I made Morgan have pointy ears too because I can't have a magic character without pointy ears. I mean, come on. I love the fantasy aesthetic. A mage with just plain round, boring human ears? No way. This is him. I don't think he's actually a vampire. I think I did give him vampire teeth. Yeah, he has vampire teeth, but I don't think he's actually a vampire in the game. We're just pretending. We're going to say that he is. He wears a black suit around all the time because he looks evil. What's more evil than looking like a rich person? Well, will you stop? Stop it. Stop it. If you're gonna do that every 5 minutes, I can't have you here. And he has bandages on his hands because of blood magic that he does. He's a loner, a genius, and a snob. He's a freak. Also, he owns a cult. One of his eyes is a different color because one of them is fake because he took one of them out doing like a spell that you're not supposed to do. He really gets into like forbidden magics and like pushing the envelope of magic. Like hence why he got turned into a vampire intentionally to make his magic power stronger, even though that's generally something that's really advised against, as well as is taking blood of people and using it in magic, perhaps how vampires do and how he does it in his cult and different things. But so he runs a cult, but he also runs a school, but the people who go to the school don't recognize the connection between the school and the cult because the cult is a really underground, well-kept secret sort of thing. I'm sure if people knew that, they would be like, hey, sorry, you can't be the headmaster of a school anymore? I'll get into all that when I go over all that later, but the main thing to know is that's his twin brother. He's his evil twin. He's like one of those people that's like evil, but like weird evil, like kind of bizarre, where you're slightly afraid of them, but at the same time they seem really goofy. Weird little quirks like, oh, I have to take out a thermometer. I won't drink a drink if it's not precisely 97 degrees. And you're just like, okay. Like, I know you kill people and stuff and I should be kind of afraid of you, but what is wrong with you? Like, can you go to therapy? And this is Marius Essen. He's the teacher for the study of the natural world class. It's like the herbs and the anatomy and stuff like that, even though you wouldn't think so. He looks more like a spellcasting teacher or something. He's very like plant out in the normal world. Loves outdoors, creative, still a bit of a loner. Oh, also I do have, okay. So I have a mod installed so I can do height sliders for everybody. So that's why some people are taller and shorter, and that's also why some people are missing one of their legs, one of their feet. You do this, like it will just disappear. You'll see it later with one of the groups of students that I have to go over. One of the like 5 of the students just don't have a, they're missing a foot. But anyway, so even though he looks like from his outfit, it looks very kind of like loud and very like, ooh, that person likes to be attention grabbing. They have all this jewelry, they have these striped pants, but like in actuality, he's very quiet, very studious, kind of just wants to study his plants. He spends like a lot of time down in the garden. He also kind of works for Morgul in a way, even though obviously he disagrees with all the cult stuff and thinks that that's like absolutely ridiculous, and also doesn't like Morgul as a person, but because he's like such a renowned expert in his field at like a lot of things like anatomy and things like this, like sometimes the headmaster of the school, Morgul, will be like, hey, I need all these ingredients, or I need you to help me do this, and I need you to get this potion, or blah blah blah, and he'll just be like, oh my god, like, I guess. Like, he seems like he'd be a very bold person, but he's actually kind of like quiet and passionate and just like wants to do his plants and read his anatomy books and like doesn't want to get involved in anything, so he kind of accidentally gets caught up in stuff like that just because he's like really passive and he doesn't want to get into conflict. So he's actually one of the only teachers that actually knows about the fact that the headmaster of the school is associated with like this underground cult or whatever, because he does work sometimes like bringing materials to the cult or advising them with stuff he doesn't want to. It's Moraeus, that's the class he teaches. He teaches that classroom with all the plants and the herbs and stuff. And this is Shanriel Galeris. I know all the names are stupid. I'm trying to I'm not really good at fantasy names. Like, I don't want to just have someone named Rebecca Stone or something, like a very generic name, so I'm trying to think of names that sound like they could be from a fantasy world that don't sound like any known language or whatever, but I'm also not good at that. I don't know. He's the potions and cauldrons classroom teacher, the one that like scoots around the classroom in the wheelie chair because he doesn't feel like getting up. He's a goofball, outgoing, and also a scholar, which is I think that's a custom trait. She's got a bouncy walk. I didn't remember that. Here she goes. Scholar is one of the custom traits that I have that's custom content, but I'm pretty sure it just means like you read books and you're really studious or whatever. She doesn't live at the school, she lives off campus because she thinks all the kids are like crazy half the time. Like, she's a very nice, like goofy, kind of outgoing, kind person, but at the same time she'll be like, you know what, I've had enough of this, like I'm gonna go to the break room. Like, I would never dare live on campus with all these people, especially with the like, she's very smart, so even though nobody really knows that, for Moraeus, of course, he knows, but like, even though nobody really knows what the headmaster is up to, she kind of suspects things. She'll see him like wandering around at night and like, you know, kind of suspects some bizarre cult illegal activities sort of stuff. So she's kind of like, she really loves her job and she really loves the students and she likes what she does and she likes to study, but at the same time she's really only there for that. Like, like, if there's like there's like an after school teacher meeting, she's like, can I skip it? Like, I don't want to be here any more than I have to. Like, I doesn't want to just hang around the school because she thinks that there's some bad stuff going on there and she doesn't want anything to do with it. And this is Alia Morinison. I don't know, that was a long time ago I made up this name. Morinison. Alia Morinison. A lot of them are loners and bookworms and stuff because they're teachers at a magic school. I mean, they're gonna have kind of similar personality. You don't become a teacher at a magic school if you're like, oh, I like to party all the time. You know, obviously you need to be kind of the type that likes academics and teaching. He's the one that teaches the history and geography class. Like I mentioned when we were like in the classroom, he likes to rest, he likes to relax. He likes it to be like a homey environment and for everything to be kind of chill. He's a very like chill teacher. He's very proper and seems like he would be like, he uses like very big vocabulary words and stuff, and he seems like he'd be like a pretentious kind of person, but he's actually very, very relaxed. He offers the students snacks at the beginning of every class. He's super chill. He just wants everyone to have fun. He doesn't live at the school, but he actually hangs out there like all the time, like down in that living room place where there's all the string lights and the fireplace and the chess table and stuff. Like, he hangs out there more than the students do. He's just always like chilling, reading a book. One of those people that really just wants to they're not like a hedonist or anything. It's not like he doesn't care about anything, but he also recognizes, you know, like you have to appreciate the small things. So if I want to wake up a little bit, or an hour earlier than I need to, and go outside and go on a walk and have some nice coffee and sit in the lounge room and read a book and enjoy myself, then I'm going to, you know? And this is Terry and Willow. She's the celestial studies teacher, the one that does all the astronomy, like looking through the telescope. She has like the cool purple classroom with the galaxy models and stuff in it. She is calm, a foodie, and a perfectionist. She's one of those people where, like, even though she's very calm and she seems like mostly undisturbed by everything, you know, like she's not like excessively emotional or like overreactive or anything like that. She's kind of like at a very, like one of those people that talks in a very calm voice and they're just like, oh hi, yes, hello, it's me, haha, you know, like that sort of thing. She does get really, really excitable about when she's talking about like planets and stuff. So sometimes she catches people off guard because they see her like outside of class or whatever, and she'll just be like, oh hi, yeah, I'm just going on a walk, I'm just going to get some herbal tea. You know, she seems like very, very calm, and like you actually get into her class and she's like, okay kids, now here, and this is like my favorite thing about the stars, but if you look right here in the sky, you'll see the, oh my god, and you'll see this thing, and it's like the best thing ever, and like, oh my god, and like open your books to page 43, like I can't wait to tell you about this, okay, so it's like, and then people in the class are like, oh my god, wait, what? She's like a very neutral person who seems like she doesn't care about very much, but if you, as soon as you get her started on a topic that she's really, really interested in, like she has like a deep, like, intellectual curiosity sort of thing, and if it's something that she's really interested in, she really likes mysteries and like solving puzzles and figuring things out. Has like certain like academic things that are like her favorite things ever, so if you ever start talking about any of that, like instantly go wild about it and suddenly become like 1,000 times more extroverted when usually she's very like completely reserved and stuff. She is also magical energy and skill-wise like the best mage in the school in terms of like having the most advanced grasp on like different spells and like magic usage and stuff, and being able to do certain things because she uses magic casually in class a lot. Like, okay students, look up at the sky, I've just created this diagram on the roof with my magic out of nowhere or whatever. It's like a skill that she has that she's good at, but she wouldn't want to teach it. Like she doesn't want to she's so much more interested in the sky and stuff. Like sometimes other teachers will come to her and be like, hey wait, how do you do this spell? And she's like, oh my god, it's like this, there, like can I get back to my stars and stuff? Yeah, because of that, she does know more about spellcasting and stuff than some of the actual spellcasting teachers do. It's kind of like an interesting dynamic. And this is Nalan Boer. This is the guy I was saying looks like a pirate. Because he's got the hat on. I mean, you would see this guy and be like, oh, that's a pirate, I guess. He's like extremely chill. He used to be an adventurer. He like traveled all over the world with like various mage companies and like doing odd jobs or whatever. And as his like midlife, okay, I'm like 50 years old or something, I need to kind of settle down sort of thing, he decided that he would be a teacher at a school. He's the one that teaches the science of like spell casting and flight and stuff. So the room with all the brooms and the wands or whatever, so he's often like out there in the yard like training people, teaching them how to cast spells, teaching them how to get on the little brooms and stuff and go crazy. You know, because he's been so long as an adventurer, he's still a little bit wild, a little bit unconventional. He's kind of like the more relaxed, fun teacher, I guess. Not so fun that he's careless. I mean, he probably has the most responsibility out of any teacher in the sense that like students can get really hurt in his class. I mean, if you're flying like 20 feet in the air on a broom and you fall, you know, like, he can be, like, kind and nurturing and stuff when he needs to. Like, oh, you broke your arm? Oh, no. Like, let me help you. Whoops. Guess you shouldn't have tried to fly that high. Overall, he's, like, the fun, young teacher who has, like, 1,000 stories to tell because he used to travel and be an adventurer type person. And he's restless, arrogant, and outgoing. These are the twins that I was talking about. Louis Aldiengron and Tellus Leah Aldiengron. Both twins, at least as twins as I could make them. Kind of hard to make twins that are a boy and a girl in the game because they want to give them different facial features and stuff, even though I feel like they should look exactly the same. I made them look as same as I can. They do kind of change them a little bit, but I tried to modify them so they look almost just alike. There are some facial features that are a little bit off because the game won't make you let them look like exactly the same, but they're very close, I hope. Terras Louis is more genuine. He's very, I mean, they're both kind of weird. Like I said, they both like try and feed off of magical energy, and they sleep in the gardens together and stuff, and they're very close. Not in a fucking weird way, you freaks that ship siblings together, not like that. They're very close, but he's the one that's more there, like, because he legitimately likes to do stuff. I mean, he's neat, he's a bookworm, he's a bit of a glutton, so he likes to eat all the time. He likes to be a chef, so he does a lot of the cooking and, like, garden upkeep type things, and his sister does a lot of the cleaning and other, you know, tasks like that sort of stuff. Like, he actually wants to be there, and he thinks that it's, like, a fun job, and he just, because, I mean, they get to live there for free, there's really nice amenities, the kitchen's really nice, that's mostly what he cares about. They have a nice kitchen with, like, free ingredients given to them at all times. He's like, oh, yes! Sometimes in the middle of the night, he'll, like, stay up and cook stuff while the students are asleep. Whereas her aspiration is to be wealthy. She's a kleptomaniac, stoic, and also neat. So she's more there because it's a kind of prestigious school, and there are lots of kids that go there are kind of rich people. And it's a very nice place. Again, even though it's small, I know it seems small and cramped, and it's not that elegant seeming, but it's like, it is like a top magic school. It's very whatever. So she's more there because she's like, some of these people have money and I have access to their rooms, and, you know, I don't know, if I happen to find some loose change on the ground or something, then She especially hates Morgan's twin brother because he's, like, also a rich person, and she hates, like, high-class mages and rich people and pretentious people and blah blah blah, so she just, like, sees someone like that walking on the street and she's like, I want to steal from them. I'm to redistribute some wealth, I think. She's more of, like, the, like, stoic schemer type of person. I mean, again, she's still very neat and orderly, so, like, the cleaning stuff doesn't bother her. She's one of those people, like, you know how sometimes it can be satisfying to clean. Maybe not for everyone, but like if something is, like those pressure washing videos. You ever see those videos of, like, some sidewalk and it's, like, totally, like, dirty, they, like, pressure wash it and all of a sudden it's, like, this bright, sparkling, clean, like, you know, stuff like that. Like, stuff like that is satisfying to her, so it's not like she totally hates the job, but a lot of the reason that she's there is more to scheme and to have access to things like, oh, I get to live in a fancy place and I can learn magic stuff for free and I can steal potions for free, and especially steal from the shitty headmaster who I hate for free. This is a good job. He's less stoic and is more of, like, a genuine kind of goofy, like, oh, I love being here, you know, type of person, and he just really wants to, he likes cooking and cleaning and doing stuff in the kitchens or whatever. That's all of the staff. Now I'll move on to the students, but I don't have as much planned about all the students because I made some of them pretty quickly because it is, like, 8 different people, and I kind of wanted to not spend too long on this because it doesn't matter. I mean, everything I've said this whole time, the game is not going to reflect that, right? Because the game doesn't have enough complexity to say, oh, this person hates this person, and here's this person's backstory, and blah, blah, blah. So for the students, I was kind of like, okay, maybe some of them have obvious personalities, but, like, you know, I'm not going to plan a lot. I'm not going to plan as much, like, detail about them than I have for, like, the teachers. So the students, they're all going to look absolutely crazy because of these jackets. I could not find good custom content jackets. I was going to use these. I really wanted to use these, but, like, guys can't really wear these. I mean, they can, but it looks really weird. But there's, like, a shadow right here, and I don't know, it almost has, like, the outline of boobs or something. I don't know. It's like one of those items of clothing that doesn't transfer over well, I guess. So I wanted to use those. I went for this, I can't, when you Google Sims 4 school uniform custom content, it's all these, like, it's either, like, sailor uniforms or, like, uniforms directly from various animes or something. It's like, I don't want to, like, make characters. I want to cosplay. Can I just have, like, a plain looking uniform sort of thing? So I ended up using these, even though the shoulder pads are ridiculous and the proportions of this are kind of, I mean, it's not badly made custom content, but it's just the proportions are very strange. Unless your shoulders are, like, the smallest possible shoulders, it always ends up making people look like they have giant, broad shoulders. Some of these people, I bet if I took their jackets off, their bodies underneath would be ridiculous looking because I had to adjust their bodies to fit the uniforms. Anyway, so maybe one day I can find a better custom content school uniform jacket and replace these. Again, this one isn't bad, it's just the shoulder proportions make everything look kind of strange. Anyway, that's what everybody's wearing. This is Jenny A. Selro. She's ambitious, a perfectionist, and kind of mean. She's like the school, I guess kind of like the bitchy rich girl sort of in a way, who's like overachieving perfectionist and like really good at everything and just kind of like snooty and talks about people behind their backs. She thinks she should be like, she's nice to you if you're not a competition. But if you're like also the best in the class, then she's like, actually, I hate you because I should be the best in every class. Parents paid a lot of money for me to be here, so it's like, why am I not the best person? I should be doing the best. This is Sienna Laurnell. She is creative, a geek, and a little bit gloomy. She's kind of like, you know, when like nerd intersects with like, artsy person. I mean, some of them are, sometimes they're both, but like sometimes you're like an art kid and a theater kid, or you're like this geeky kid or whatever, and she's kind of like both. She's like in between. She really likes art, and she spends a lot of time in the recreation room like painting and stuff, but she also spends like a lot of time reading and and like studying obsessively and stuff. So, and this is Wisteria Alucine. You can barely see her because she's short, and so her head doesn't show up all the way. Nerd brain. She loves outdoors. She's a bro, and she's also non-committal. Non-committal in this sense, I guess, kind of meaning like not like in relationships as much. I mean, probably the same in relationships, but more in the sense that like she likes everything to be casual. She doesn't want stuff to get too deep. She just wants to go on her nature hikes and like do her bro stuff and watch sport games and spend all her time in the little gym exercising or whatever, and she doesn't really want to do stuff like write deep poetry about my inner emotions or, you know, have an hour-long conversation about my childhood trauma. You know, she kind of just wants to keep things casual, wants to keep things on the surface. Like, yeah, let's just go hang out and ride bikes. No, I don't want to talk about your childhood. Like, I just want to just keep things light all the time, please. Thank you. Nerman Drell. He wants to be a Renaissance sim. He's a perfectionist, a geek, and a loner. A lot of these are perfectionist, loner, nerd, whatever, that type of traits, because again, they're like students in a prestigious magic school. Like, they're gonna have some traits in common in the sense of like being the type of people who would study at a prestigious magic school. Of course, since he's a loner and stuff, he's kind of like one of the quiet kids who just wants to like read and do, like, he's not like, oh, I'm here at the, because some people are at the school also for the experience of going to school, and are like, oh yes, I want to go use the gym, I want to go sit in the communal areas, everything is so cool, I want to walk to the cafe downtown and have a coffee after school, I love the school life experience. And he's more like, I'm just here to get my stuff done and get out, like, I just want to do my studies, get done with school, and get out of here. But he does have problems because, again, he's kind of a geek, which means, you know, he likes to play video games and do things like that, and so sometimes he's not so great at staying on task, because he's like, oh, I really want to do good, and I love schoolwork, and like, because he's like one of those people that enjoy school. You know, some people go to school begrudgingly or just because they're expected to, but he's like, oh my god, I love classwork, I love writing essays, blah blah blah. At the same time, he can get a little sidetracked, like watching movies or playing video games or something in his room after school, and it's like, shit, I still have to do my essay, and I have to be perfect, ah! And this is Liro Vathiesa. He is, a goofball, a music lover, and lazy. He's like at the school because he's super, super, super gifted at magic, like, you know, just like very innate natural talent, but at the same time, he's kind of not really interested in that side of things. Like, some of these people, from the time they were like young children, they were like, I'm going to go to a prestigious magic school, and I'm going to be a prestigious mage, and I'm going to be good at everything, and blah blah blah. And he was just kind of like, I just want to write music and hang out and have fun and play games and go to cafes and stuff. And everybody in his life is like, but no, you're like super good at magic, like you're good at everything, you have to go, you need to be applying your talents somewhere. And he's like, I don't know if I really want to, I mean, I guess. So he's like one of those people where like everybody in the class will like spend hours and hours and hours studying a spell, and he didn't even look at the textbook, and then on the day of like, okay, you know, the teacher's like, okay, everybody do the spell, and like everybody struggles with it, and he's like, oh, you mean like this? And he does it, and everybody's like, god damn it, Liro, like, how long did you study? Oh, I didn't study, I played video games with Nirman all last night. And they're like, what? What do you mean? Very chill, very relaxed, though because of that, he does kind of end up feeling sort of like, I don't know, like an outcast, or like he doesn't belong because everybody else really, really wants to be there a ton. Because again, it's like a prestigious private magic school. People compete to get spots there, and he's just kind of there because he's good at stuff, and so he kind of feels a little bit weird about that and left out because he doesn't have like the same motivation that all the other students do. Sometimes he feels like kind of guilty, like, well, maybe I should be like applying myself and like do really, really amazing or something, because I feel bad that I don't even really want this that much and everybody else does, and they're like struggling and I'm not. But like, you know, at the same time, I would just rather write music. So, of course, he spends a lot of time down in the music room or whatever, expressing himself, writing super elaborate orchestras or something, continuing to be good at everything. And this is Alistair Vermond. He's a bookworm, a genius, and a snob. And he wants to be good at spellcraft and sorcery. Kind of like a mean kid, I guess, because you have to have some antagonists on campus, I suppose. He's not too bad. He's like more one, like, Genia is like actually mean, like deliberately cruel, and he's more like, I don't know, just pretentious. You know those people where like they're not actually mean-spirited towards anyone, they just sound annoying all the time. Someone would offer them coffee and they'd be like, oh my gosh, that type of coffee? How pedestrian. I could never drink such a type of coffee. I don't drink that coffee brand. I only drink specially picked blah 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 that I get from my exclusive coffee dealer which I've hired and blah blah blah. And then everybody else sees that and interprets it as like, oh, so my coffee isn't good enough for you, like blah blah blah. He doesn't actually mean it that way, he's just not choosing his words carefully. I could never drink that. Ew, who drinks that? And they're like, I drink that. What are you talking about? And he's like, oh, well, I didn't mean, I just, you know, like, while what he's saying does imply a certain level of pretentiousness, he doesn't actively, consciously in his mind think he's better than other people. He just is a dumbass who doesn't realize he's being pretentious sometimes. Very socially obtuse, and not to excuse his behavior, because I mean, at some point you have to realize, like, stop saying stuff like that. Maybe people will stop being mad at you, like, adjust your attitude, but my main point is he's not mean the same way that Genia is. Oh, and also, see, students can wear their uniforms different ways. Like, she's not wearing the jacket, but she is wearing the shirt from it, so just to mention, they can kind of modify it slightly. And this is Namira Rele. She's, again, so short you can barely see. As you can see, she has some face paints on and stuff because she's a very, like, yeah, I'll draw my face and wear it outside. It's just cute. Ah, you know, like that type of person. She's a slob, genius, and a little bit childish. And not childish in the sense of, like, being mean. Like, you know how some people are childish because they insult people a lot or whatever. She's not, like, mean childish. She's childish in the sense that, like, she likes cute things and stuff like wears face paint as like daily attire because she thinks it's cute, you know, sleeps with a teddy bear because it's fun. She is really smart and obviously does focus on like doing good in school, but also she is one of those people that is a lot of the reason she's there is for the school experience. Like she just, oh, I can make her short again now that I've shown her face. She mostly wants to be there because she just thinks it's like cool. Like she likes everything about it. She likes the idea of being in a dorm. She likes the idea of having like cool communal like sitting rooms. She likes the idea that she can go into like the computer room. Like there's a little center of shops down the street so she can go there and get a coffee at the cafe and like go clothes shopping and stuff. And also they won't let you make another slot, but I would have her have a pet because she does have a pet that lives with her on campus. There's a pet cat that follows her around everywhere. It's a derpy looking cat with like crossed eyes and like a giant pink bow. I don't know, I just envisioned this cat with crossed eyes, and they're wearing like a giant pink bow tie all the time, and they also have a little pink ribbon tied onto the end of their tail, and their tail is curly, and their name is something silly like Spinkles, like sprinkles without the R or something, and she's always running around school like, oh my god, Spinkles! Like, get up, you can't run away from me! You know, very perky and fun. She likes to have fun. She loves the whole school experience. Always running around, not cleaning up after herself, just kind of like doing whatever her whims. That's why I put the slob thing there, because she's like more focused on fun and having cool things happen in the moment than like actually cleaning up later. Also, she's not one of those people that's like her whole personality. I mean, obviously she does really good in school. She can be really serious. She can get down to it and like work when she has to, but it's just like, if she doesn't have to, when there's time to play, she's gonna play, and she's gonna chase Spinkles around the school. I'm gonna have to make her shorter just so you can see her. This is Sarielle Venice. The tallest person in school and a little bit lanky and a little bit awkward and is romantic, a bookworm, and a loner. She's kind of like one of those awkward people that spends a lot of their time like sitting alone in the stairwell reading like romance novels, but of course hiding it. If anybody came in on her reading, she'd be like, oh, I'm just studying science, I don't know, haha. Just my spellcasting quiz. Also very, very genuine, and like she would be like one of the considered like the nice girls in school. Like, you know, those people where like if someone's getting bullied, they'll come up to them and be like, hey, I saw someone being mean to you, I just wanted to, you know, see if you were okay or whatever, because This romantic trait, I know that in the game it's mostly about relationships, but I think in this case I'm considering her romantic not just in like a relationship sense, but also in the sense of like romanticizing things in general. Having faith in the general population, you know, believing that people are all good and at the end of the day the world is good and everybody should help each other and blah blah blah, you know, one of those very like idealistic people who always wants to look out for other people and help them and stuff like that. So, Serial. And then that's the first group of 8 students, as if that didn't take long enough, and now I'll go over the other ones. The other ones I made more recently and kind of rushed, so maybe I won't have as much to say about them, hopefully, because I think this has been probably 2 hours already, and I shouldn't take that long. This is Tarian Sedin. She is oblivious, cheerful, and ambitious. She wants to be as friend of the world, so she's like a really social person. She's generally very happy and has a positive mood set and wants to do good in school and stuff like that, but at the same time she is, you know, she can be kind of socially oblivious, so she's like one of those people who like wants to make a ton of friends and be like the party host person and like have a whole group that really likes her and stuff, but at the same time she misinterprets social cues a lot and can be kind of really unaware of certain situations that are going on, so it's kind of hard for her to balance the like, I want to be friends with everybody and I want everybody to be my friend, but at the same time I have a lot of trouble making friends, you know, like that sort of thing. Because she has a positive attitude, she keeps going, she keeps trying, she's always out there trying to make friends anyway. Even if she misinterprets things, sometimes people can still tell that she's obviously like well-intentioned, like they don't think she's misinterpreting them maliciously, so she still has a lot of friends. Okay, I'm trying to be a little bit quicker with these so I can't spend forever. I'm just gonna be like, okay, yeah, she's this, and this, okay, boop, boop. Because this video is already probably really, really long. And this is Calliel Thimbleberry. Kind of like the popular girl in school, but like not the popular girl in school like how Jenny is, like how she's like the bitchy, mean, popular girl who wants to be better than everybody. She's the popular girl in school as in like the happy person who runs around and is like, oh, it's a holiday! I made holiday packages for every single one of my classmates, and here's a card for you, and here's a card for you, and here's a card for you, and here's some candy, you know, like she likes to plan things. The type of person that would be like the lead, like the president of all the student organizations and like want to help the teachers host events after school and stuff, like kind of like a teacher's pet, perky, sort of happy person. Friend of the animals. She loves animals, as you can tell from her cat shoes. And even though she has to stick to the uniform, she's obviously trying to like wear as little of it as possible. Like, actually, I'm gonna put jeans under my skirt and I'm gonna wear whatever socks I want and these shoes. And she's cheerful and a genius and outgoing, of course, like I just mentioned. This is Risley Grimmel. I kind of was trying to make like a little mouse person. I couldn't find mouse ears, but I wanted him to have like a very kind of like tiny mouse-like looking face, I guess. He's also very, very short. I think he's as short as it goes. Okay, now he's as short as the slider will let me make him. He's a very small boy. Toss that boy, he'd go 40,000 feet up in the air. He wants to do potions. He's a daydreamer, a perfectionist, and a little bit clumsy. So one of those people that kind of is quiet and keeps themselves, and type of person that like gets caught up in like some elaborate daydream they're having, and because they're so distracted, they end up like tripping on someone in the hallway, and then they fall, they knock like an entire table of books over, and then they, you know, like, he's very accident prone, and part of that is because of his daydreaming, and part of that is just because that's how he is. He very frequently has some sort of like bandage on or ends up causing some sort of commotion in the lunchroom, dropping 15 people's trays at one time somehow, or like setting the kitchen on fire, blowing up something in potions class. Is also of course very easily distractible and almost always just daydreaming about something or thinking about something else, but at the same time he's a perfectionist, so he does want to, it's like he wants to do well, but his brain and his clumsiness are competing against him. So he's like, okay, I really want to do perfect. This time, I'm gonna ace my exam, I'm gonna study all night, and then somehow it's 4 in the morning, and he's like outside going on a leisurely walk, daydreaming about what it would be like to be a bird, and he's like, wait, wasn't I supposed to study tonight? Oh my god! On his way back inside, he runs, and he ends up tripping and falling down the stairs. Like, it's just an interesting combination of traits. This is Marion Vestlin. He's not actually older than the other students. He's kind of the same age as everyone else. He's just like, everybody jokes about him being a grandpa, probably because of his gray hair, but also just his general demeanor. He is a scholar, basically kind of just like a super nerd, always wants to be studying something, always wants to, and he's stoic and a loner. So he's one of those people that like, you tell jokes and he just looks at you with a straight face. Like, also one of those people that takes everything very, very seriously. Like, he's not very playful, he doesn't want to joke around, he doesn't think pranks are funny. That's part of why he doesn't like being in school with the other students, because people will be, you know, like those people where if like other people around them are being loud and like laughing and everybody's in a group or whatever, he'll be like, can everybody just be quiet? Like he gets mad at other people having fun. Because of his gray hair and his very stoic, very serious sort of demeanor, everybody jokes about him being like a grandpa. What, aren't you like 87 years old? Should you even still be in school? Shouldn't you be doing something else? And of course, instead of going, oh, haha, that's just my personality, he just looks at them with a straight face like, no, I'm not 87. Anyway, I have classwork to do. Rayon Glire. He is neat, insecure, meaning he doesn't like to, I think that one says what? Tends to be embarrassed and may become upset if they're the center of attention. Yeah, he doesn't really like to be the center of big groups or whatever. Active. I wanted to make him look like a little bit kind of like fishy or whatever. See, he has these like scales or something, and he has a, I guess like webbed ear sort of stuff going on. It's him without the hat too. He's like a mermaid kind of fish species sort of person. That's also why he's so covered up, because in this out of the water, his skin tends to be a little bit sensitive. Very, very prone to like sunburn and stuff like that. So he needs to be like covered up almost all the time, kind of like a vampire. Also, he like has little scales everywhere and stuff, so he's a little bit insecure about that. He's also like, aside from that other girl, who I forget her name now, it started with a C, the tall one who was a romantic. From her, he's like the tallest person in school, and if I could have like a little bit extra on the slider. So he's very tall, he stands out. That's one of the reasons that he has like the insecure trait, because it's like he's not trying to stand out, he just ends up standing, because I mean he's like the only person in school wearing a giant hat and a scarf and gloves at all times, and wears slippers because he has like scaly stuff on the bottom of his feet, so normal shoes are uncomfortable to him. And he's also large and like stands out in a crowd because of how tall he is, and he has like kind of a different looking face with the scales and stuff, and his eyes look really different. I would imagine he also has like a different kind of voice, because like a mermaid sort of person, like these are all, I don't know, I don't know what everybody is. They're like elves or various supernatural species, like people with horns and stuff, but he's some sort of like different thing that has a little bit different anatomy than they do, so his voice probably sounds different too. So like, just because of a few natural things, he tends to stand out, so that's why he's kind of insecure, because he doesn't really like being the center of attention, because he doesn't really like standing out. He doesn't like the people like, why are you wearing a hat? Why do you wear slippers instead of shoes? He's like, just leave me alone. Just blah, blah, blah. At the same time, he's very nice, likes to make lots of friends. He wants to be on sports team, even though the school is too small for there to actually be sports teams, but he's always campaigning the teachers and the headmaster and stuff, like, can we please start a sports team? I love sports. He's active, so he spends like almost all his time that's not in classes down at the swimming pool, swimming in laps around the swimming pool and stuff, because he does like to be in water, or taking an extremely long bath in the communal bathrooms. He's also kind of neat and orderly. Sort of like high-strung, you know, he doesn't want to be in crowds, he doesn't want to be looked at, he doesn't want to be in front of people, he wants everything to be very neat and precise and stuff like that. Nobody makes fun of him. All of his insecurities are kind of like internal ones. Like people will ask like, why are you wearing a hat? But it's not like people are like, oh my god, your face looks weird. Why do you have scales? Like, everybody's actually fairly nice to him, but I guess he just like, maybe he was made fun of while he was growing up, so now he has like some internalized insecurities and stuff, but... So that's Rayan. And this is Iriel Kasene. She is a nerd brain, a historian, which means she's really interested in, like, history and books and stuff. Ambitious, and also a bit of an... What does egghead mean? That's a custom trait. They're very focused, but can get stuck in their own head. Yeah, so she overthinks everything because she's too smart. This is probably whatever the hell her name was, I don't remember. What was it? Jenny? That other girl who was like the bitchy blonde girl or whatever, whose parents paid for her to be in school. This is probably like her main competition, because this is like the other smartest girl in school, except she's actually nice and isn't mean to everybody about it. So she's like the good smart girl, the better overachiever who's not a bitch. She can seem a bit serious, because she's one of those people, she's not in school for the experience of being in school. She doesn't want to, she's not like, oh, this will be so fun. She's, again, kind of like one of the people who's going to be in here to do my stuff, and overachieve and get perfect scores and everything, and I want to graduate perfect, and then I'm out of here. I don't want to go to any after school parties, I don't want to go to any events, I don't want to go to the stupid cafe next door. I'm either going to be studying or in class, and those are the only two activities I do. She does secretly like to sneak into the like art room and stuff in the middle of the night when everybody is asleep and do paintings, and it's like a stress release sort of thing. But she would never let anybody know that she does paintings, because paintings are not schoolwork, and she has to be studying all the time. Kind of like one of those people where, like, if everybody else is, like, having an event or, like, a party or something, she scoffs at it. She's like, ugh, you guys have time to be partying? Why are you not studying 24/7? But then at the same time, sometimes she's so... Because she has that standard built up for herself, whenever she wants to do something that's not studying, she has to, like, hide it from people, because she's like, well, then I'm gonna look like a hypocrite, because I tell other people they shouldn't be doing anything except studying, but now I'm doing something other than studying. So she's a secret painter. Smart girl. This is Giovanni Noer. He is perfectionist, snob, and neurotic, which I forget what neurotic means as well. Sims often can't quite get a grip on life, freaking out over every little thing. He's kind of one of the snobby rich kids that's just here because I mean, like, all the snobby rich kids that are here because their parents paid for it. It's not like they're bad at school. They do have... This school is not one of the schools where you can bribe your way into it. Like, you can pay to get a spot there when the list is full of other... Like, you'll be moved to the top of the list, but it's not like you can be totally terrible. You can be, like, a crappy mage and still get in just based on your money. You do still have to have some skills. Money isn't everything to the headmaster. So he's one of the kids that just kind of paid to get in, but not in the sense that he doesn't still have skills. It's more in the sense that, like, there were other people in line ahead of him, and he paid to get to the top of the list, but he still meets the qualifications to go to the school. It's not like he sucks at magic and he somehow got there. Because the integrity of the mages at the school is more important than what their parents pay. He's like a perfectionist and a snob and wants to be good at everything and has, like, exquisite tastes and stuff, but at the same time, he's also very, very nervous and, like, very anxious. Like, even though he tries to be one of those people that's, like, super calm and stoic about everything and like, oh yes, you did that, I don't care. Acts like he's above everything. Like, the plans were cancelled? That's fine, I have other better plans. But at the same time, he's like, internally, he's like, oh my god, the plans were cancelled, what my plans? Like, what are you gonna be? So he's like those people who's like a nervous wreck but tries really, really, really hard to hide it and look calm, cool, and collected. Like, he really wants to be seen as like this like smug, better than everyone else, always keep his composure and but then at the same time he's like constantly like, oh, excuse me for a minute, I have urgent business to attend to, and then what he actually does is like hide in a broom closet and scream or something. Externally he seems very calm, cool, and collected and pretentious, but like internally he's always like 3.5 seconds away from having like a full-blown anxiety attack, and he's like super stressed out about everything. He hates anything not going exactly the way he wants it to. He's super paranoid about everything. Because he's such a perfectionist, he wants everything to work perfectly, so he's like super afraid of anything that could go wrong. Like, okay, I have to turn in my essay tomorrow night, but what if the school burns down and then I can't turn in my essay because it's like, why are you even worrying about that? Just work on your essay. So that's Giovanni. And then the last person is Dara Omsetu. She is a night owl, self-assured, and also a bit of a goofball. Kind of like the generic, like, spunky kind of alternative person. A little bit atypical, kind of carefree, active, very outgoing, like not afraid to take risks and stuff, that sort of thing. To stay up all night, drinking energy drinks and stuff, completes a lot of the assignments at the last minute. Is kind of goofy and playful, like the type of person who plays practical jokes on people, but like not in a mean way. She's not a mean person. The people in school like Jenny or something, like they might actually play cruel pranks. She's more kind of just like fun pranks, things that are not actually going to hurt anyone, that are not actually going to like do anything bad to them. Like the life of the party sort of person, and like doesn't take anything too seriously. Like, of course it's like a prestigious school, she wants to do well and she gets okay grades, but like she's not like, oh my god, I failed a test, I have to go hide in a closet now and like I'm just gonna die, you know. It's kind of like, oh yeah, well, people do good, people do bad sometimes, it's just life, you know. It's like a very kind of like a casual outlook on things, which a lot of the students do not share. As you saw, a lot of everybody's traits are like loner, bookworm, perfectionist. Like over half the school is like, I have to do good on every assignment, I have to blah 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 blah, and she's like one of the few people in the school that's kind of like, yeah, well, you know, it's just a school. You know, it's just school, you do good or you do bad, it's about the experience and it's about learning, and everybody's like, how can you say that? It's about being perfect! Like, especially him, if they were having a conversation together, he would panic and run out of the room, not able to breathe, because she'd be like, well, you know, scores don't matter, and he'd be like, scores don't matter, what are you talking about? Me to the fainting lounge! He also spends a lot of time in the art room playing the piano and painting and sculpting and doing, like, she's like one of those, she kind of likes to do a little bit of everything. She'll like cook in the kitchen, she likes to do exercise, she likes to do this, she likes to go swimming, she likes to go on walks outside. She's sort of very open to new experiences and not super set in her ways and kind of just like easy breezy mage girl. That's all of this group of students, which makes 18, not 18, oh my god, that makes 2 groups of 8, which makes 16 people, and so that's all of the students in the school. Or those are all the ones that live there, at least. Those 16 students are the ones that live in the dorms, and then, of course, I went over all the teachers and the headmaster and the butler people who work there, so I think that's pretty much everything. Those are all the other details. Sorry that second part was so long. Oh my god. I was just like, I'll go over everybody really quickly, and then I'm like, okay, so I've been recording for an hour and a half. Nice. Okay, this is already way too long. That's my magic school, and that's all the students that live in the magic school and the teachers that live in the magic school, and I don't know what I have next. Maybe one of these places. If I finish the whole downtown, I could do a video going over the whole, because I want to go over every single place in this magic, like the graveyard and stuff, like this whole sort of town that I'm making, where I'm replacing all the lots with things that I built myself. But I went over the magic school, that's the first part of it. I don't really know what to go over next. Maybe, I'm almost finished with some of these, maybe I could go over some of the downtown places. But anyway, hopefully I can make more videos going over the different places that I've made in the magic town. But that was the magic school, and all the people that work in the magic school and go to the magic school. And of course there are like I said, there are a lot of students that don't live on campus, and I'm not going to make all of those. Those are just a few of the people, a sampling of mages, if you will. Okay, bye, this has been way too long.